Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive into the latest AI news?
Always ready to geek out about AI.
Me too. So, like always, we've got This Week in AI in front of us, our favorite cheat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, some of these headlines, seriously cool stuff this week. Like a model that's supposedly, smarter than almost all of us,
Yeah, I saw that one. Sounds kind of scary, right?
and a robot dog that can get this do backflips.
Backflip, seriously.
Seriously, buckle up. We've got a lot to talk about.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about this model, O3, from OpenAI.
Huh.
It's making headlines with its supposedly genius-level IQ. 157 to be exact, putting it, they say, above like 99.993% of humanity. I mean, wow. What do you make of that?
Well, it definitely sounds impressive on the surface, right? 157, that's pretty high. But here's the thing about AI IQ tests. We have to be careful about how we interpret them.
Right.
They're not exactly the same as the ones we use for people. They tend to focus on very specific types of problems, problem-solving abilities, puzzle-solving, things like that.
Okay.
So O3 might be a whiz at certain tasks, but it doesn't necessarily mean it understands the world or learns or thinks the way humans do.
Right. Makes sense.
It's more like, a specialized skill set rather than true intelligence.
Like a savant, maybe. Super good at one thing, but
Yeah, savant. That's a good analogy. Like, amazing at math, but maybe can't tie their shoes.
exactly. So it's a cool development for sure. Shows how fast AI is progressing, but maybe not time to hand over the world just yet.
Not just yet.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, speaking of advancements, how about this? ChatGPT is getting a memory upgrade. Finally.
I was just thinking that.
Right. It's like one of my biggest frustrations with ChatGPT.
Yep.
You have this whole conversation, and then boom, next session, it's like it's never met you before.
Totally.
So this upgrade, this is supposed to make it so it remembers past interactions.
Yeah.
Like actually remembers. This could be huge, right?
Yeah, could be a game changer, honestly. Imagine having a conversation that can build upon what you talked about before. Chat GPT, remembering your preferences, the context of your conversations, it would feel so much more natural, so much more, well, human.
Okay, that's exciting. But hold on. Big memory, big responsibility. I mean, what about privacy?
Right. That's a crucial point.
All that data, all those conversations, that's pretty sensitive stuff.
Absolutely. Privacy is absolutely key here. We need to make sure that this information is protected, used responsibly. Definitely something to keep an eye on as this develops.
For sure. Okay, shifting gears now, let's talk about this smaller company that's making waves. DeepSeek, V3, their latest model.
Oh, yeah. DeepSeek. They're doing some interesting things.
And get this.
Yeah.
They're actually outperforming some of the big names in coding tasks,
Uh-huh.
like GPT-4 and Claude. And they did it on a shoestring budget, relatively speaking.
Yeah, that's what's so remarkable about DeepSeek. They're showing that you don't necessarily need billions of dollars to make progress in AI.
Right?
They trained their model for, what was it, 5.5 million? A drop in the bucket compared to some of these tech giants are spending?
Crazy. So what's the secret sauce? What are they doing differently?
Well, they're really focused on efficiency and innovation in their approach. They're finding clever ways to get more out of their resources, and it seems to be paying off.
That's really encouraging for the open source AI community, right?
Hugely encouraging. This suggests that the playing field might be leveling out a bit.
Right. More competition, more ideas, more innovation. I'm all for that.
Me too. It could lead to some really exciting breakthroughs.
Okay, well, speaking of big money, let's talk about XAI.
Mm.
Elon Musk's company. They just raised a whopping $6 billion.
Wow. 6 billion.
Yeah. Their valuation has doubled to, wait for it, $45 billion.
They're definitely attracting some serious attention.
I mean, with investors like NVIDIA and BlackRock jumping in, it's clear they see something big in XAI's future.
Yeah, it seems like they're betting big on Musk's vision for AI.
Makes you wonder what they're cooking up over there, right?
Absolutely.
Now, all this talk about big companies, big money, makes me think about the tools and resources available to the everyday developer.
Right.
Like in this week's Builder's Corner, we've got this thing called the Gemini API Cookbook, which is supposed to make AI development easier. What exactly is that?
So the Gemini API Cookbook, it's basically like a collection of recipes, but for AI.
Okay.
It provides guides, examples, all sorts of resources to help developers use Google's Gemini AI models in their own projects.
Makes it easier to get started.
Exactly. It lowers the barrier to entry, takes away some of the complexity. And that's really important because it means more people can get involved in building with AI.
Right, that democratization of AI, that's something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, it's key to unlocking the full potential of AI, to get it out of the hands of just a few big companies.
I like it. I like it. And speaking of exciting developments,
Hmm.
how about these robots featured this week? It's like a sci-fi movie came to life.
Seriously, some of these are wild.
Yeah, we've got the PUD-UD9. It's a cleaning robot, but it's not like your grandma's Roomba. This thing is sleek, efficient.
Yeah, cleaning robots are getting seriously advanced.
Then there's this robot dog, the B2W, that can navigate all sorts of tough terrain.
Yeah.
And wait for it, do backflips.
I know, I can't get over the backflips. It's like, what's the point? But also, that's so cool.
I know, right?
But it really shows you how far robotics has come. The
Yeah.
agility, the control. It's impressive.
And who knows, maybe those backflips will come in handy someday.
You never know. Maybe they'll be the next big thing in search and rescue.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some seriously mind-bending AI products. Like, Tevis, you can create a digital twin of yourself.
That's the one that really blew my mind.
I know, right? Like, what are the implications of that? Is this just for fun, or is this like the future of how we interact with tech?
It could be both, right? I mean, on one hand, it's a super cool concept. Imagine having a digital version of yourself that can handle tasks, attend meetings,
Yeah.
even interact with people on your behalf.
It's almost like having a personal assistant,
Yeah.
but it's you.
Exactly.
I mean, the possibilities are endless
Yeah.
and maybe a little creepy too, right? I don't know, I'm still processing that one.
Yeah, it definitely raises some interesting questions. Like, what does it even mean to have a digital self?
Right. What are the ethics of it all?
Big questions.
Big questions. Okay, another one that had me thinking. Hume AI's Ostiv. This thing can create personalized voice clones in seconds.
Voice cloning technology is getting scary good.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, imagine the possibilities. Personalized audiobooks, virtual assistants that sound just like you.
Right. And for people who have lost their voice, this could be life-changing.
Exactly. But on the other hand, the potential for misuse. That's a little scary too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about scams, misinformation.
Deep fakes.
Exactly. We're going to need some serious safeguards as this technology becomes more widespread.
Absolutely. Okay, last but not least, we've got Google's VO2. This one generates hyper-realistic influencer videos.
This is the one that has me worried about the future of reality.
Right. Like, are we headed for a world where we can't even tell what's real anymore?
I think we're already kind of there, to be honest.
True.
But this takes it to a whole new level. I mean, imagine a world flooded with AI-generated content.
Yeah.
Influencers that don't even exist.
It's both fascinating and terrifying.
Yeah, definitely a double-edged sword.
So I guess what we're seeing is AI is advancing on so many fronts. It's mind-blowing, it's exciting, it's a little scary.
It's definitely a lot to process.
Right. And it's happening so fast.
Mm-hmm.
New breakthroughs every week. It's clear that AI is going to have a profound impact on our world. I mean, from these crazy smart models to robots that are practically doing parkour.
And everything in between.
And everything in between. The question is, how do we navigate this new reality? How do we ensure that AI is used for good?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a question we all need to be thinking about.
Yep.
So to our listeners, we want to hear from you. What aspect of this week's AI news stood out to you the most? What excites you? What worries you? Share your thoughts. Let's get this conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, everyone.